Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome everybody to the video portion of the Stephen Cartwright Show. And I wanted to come on this evening, and I want to make this a short video. And this video is going to be called "Accountability in the Community." Accountability in the community. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, um, I want everybody to come in and watch this video. And first, I do not want to miss this announcement. Saturday, I am pushing this really, really hard on Saturday. Uh, is going to be a very, very uh, good live stream Saturday. I urge everybody to tune in Saturday between 9 and 9:15. The show will be starting between 9 and 9:15. Sharp. Modern women and the child support system. And you know, the bottom, the directional, the attorney general. Modern women and the child support system. This is going to be a very, very informative live stream on Saturday. So I advise, especially a lot of young people, tune in. This is going to be very educating for young people, even for older people. But I do highly encourage young people to look, because these are things that can save you from so many troubles in your lives. And you have to understand, even as young people or even older people, the less mistakes you make, the better off you are. Don't get me wrong. Some mistakes is good to make, but it's these mistakes and these type of things, I promise you, you can live without them through your life. Now let's get to the video here, ladies and gentlemen. Accountability. We seem to have a big, big problem in our community, uh, especially with our institutions. A lot of institutions, we already have a lot of trouble with accountability with modern women and some men. On this, I am going to get off into some of the men and women, or some of them, not all, are bad stewards, and accountability does not play a role. Only thing they care about is money. Let's get off into some of the accountability, the lack of accountability. I want to go to some of the lack of accountability in our churches. In a lot of churches, there are a lack of accountability. And a lot of pastors relax a lot of the rules in the church, whether if it is publicly attending church or public conduct. There were times you could be dismissed from a church for bad behavior or continuous how can I call it, or unsatisfying or dissatisfying behaviors. Let's go to one. How a lot of the women come to church dressed provocative. Breasts showing, cleavage, dresses weaning so high you can see the crevices close to their private area. Some of them you can even see what color underwear that they're wearing. Clothes are overly tight. And a lot of the pastors overlook these type of things for the sake of money. I don't think that God would be too pleased with this type of stuff. Let's go to another where a lot of the church leaders, and these are community leaders, ladies and gentlemen, that is allowing these things to get away. Let's go. Let's get off into it. They come to church loud, twerking in church. Some have 6, 7 kids by 4 and 5 different men in the churches, and pastors allow this type of behavior to go on in the churches. And I say it is a lack of leadership. A lack of leadership in churches. Accountability. Let's speak of the men that has left the church. You see, in the church, it says it in the Bible. Man only answers to God. And when you speak to a lot of people that is in the church, and church members, and pastors, deacons, they feel as though as they are heads of the church that they should get a pass. No, you should not. Because you're supposed to be leaders in the community. You're supposed to be the eyes and the mouthpiece for God. But you lax the rules for money and women. A lack of leadership. Without a definitive dress code being enforced, how are the members are supposed to, how are people are supposed to know what is acceptable when you come to the house of the Lord? Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. You know, let's go back to the men. The reason why a lot of men has left the church because they know the church has become unacceptable. Unacceptable. Because the church is not only where you come to for a place of worship. It is supposed to be a place where people come through for leadership. And a lot of churches, when you speak to pastors and people say that they love the Lord and that they serve the Lord, and you speak some truth with them, they will easily come back and try to quote other scriptures to cover up for the behaviors that they have been allowing to go on. But like I said, I remember when people would get dismissed from church. This is why the church has been corrupt. Because the people that answer to God is no longer there. And the answer to Jesus Christ. This is why a lot of men don't do that, because the leadership in churches are very poor, and they expect the heads of God to continue to follow poor leadership? Nah. Pastors all know that this just don't work for me. And the reason why they put up with it is for the sake of money. For the sake of money. Let's move on. Political exploitation. Churches allow themselves to be politically exploited. And politicians and people that mean our community no good know where to come to have that grand hand to woo their way into power, into where they can give the people so little. Politicians. You know when a person comes and they are definitely genuine. Definitely genuine. A code of conduct. Let's go to code of conduct. I remember, if you are acting badly and you attend church and your pastor hear about you out in public, acting in ways that is unacceptable, they would remove you from the church. You won't be attending that church. And I know they say, oh, God. Now then they'll turn it and say, oh, God accepts sinners. Of course. How long does he keep accepting them? Because you have to remember also, God eventually got tired of Lucifer, and he kicked Lucifer out of the kingdom of heaven. Sure did. And you speak of, and let's get off, we're still off into behaviors. When men speak of the behaviors that is going on in the community, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm speaking of our women in particular. And, God, the devil came to Eve. The devil sent the serpent to Eve. To talk to Eve, not Adam. And convinced Eve to give Adam the apple. Now, mind you, let me get here. Mind you, men are always supposed to be there, but we can't be everywhere. And women are supposed to be the protectors of male image. They're supposed to have our backs. Let's get off into this. They're supposed to have our backs. Look out for bad things that's coming up behind us that we don't see. Helpmate. We can't see it all. It's just like, even with the male line, he's got to go off sometime. He's not going to see everything. And it's up to the females to keep things in check while the male line is patrolling the territory. Now let's get back into it. When men are stepped away, now Eve knew that the devil, that Lucifer sent the serpent to talk to her. And she already knew this, and she's talking to her. And now you know something, when you're talking to somebody, that means nobody no good. That means that means absolutely nobody no good. Why come she did not tell him to take that apple and shut it? Because men can't be everywhere at once. They are supposed to be the protectors of male image. Don't get me wrong. We have some to say, well, if Eve would have ate the apple, wouldn't have nothing happened. Boy, it'd been, oh Lord. But little do they understand that Lucifer knew to send Lucifer knew to send the serpent to talk to Eve instead of Adam, because men are equalizers. Men answer to God. Accountability. And when you speak with pastors, deacons, they deflect. A lot of them just like women. And they don't want to hold them to any type of accountability. That is another reason why our communities is in such disarray. Not saying that everybody is bad, but you know what? You got to take your you got to take your cut for being a part of the problem too. Most certainly do. And just because you have a church doesn't mean that you can be out of order also. And just because you're a church and you're a man in a suit, you still got to answer to God. And it goes much, much deeper for pastors. Accountability is like kryptonite to pastors and modern women. I guess that's why they're under the same roof. I don't know. Men had to move out from underneath that. Not giving people a second look. The ladies a second look. They're coming in there, 4 kids, 4 different men. 6 kids, 4, 5 different men. You have to believe this is an institution we're talking about. We're talking about an institution, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking about a place that a lot of them has became to where they relaxed the standards under the house of the good Lord. Why do you think the men left? The political exploitation is just horrendous. Totally horrendous. And absolutely unacceptable. Accountability. Men will not come back in the churches like that until accountability has been restored. Accountability and order has been restored. Men look at things not only from a biblical standpoint, they also have to look at it when they come out in the world. And men cannot be everywhere at any one time to be in position to stop bad behavior or to protect our image. That is supposed to be our helpmate's job. Where is the accountability for them? I leave it. Where's the accountability in the churches for them? I leave you with that. Is money that important? I don't think so. Because a lot of you, when you have to go stand before God and Jesus Christ himself, yeah, you're going to answer some questions too. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring this video to a close. And Saturday, between 9 and 9:15, modern women and the child support system. Don't miss it, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be something to come in to see. I invite everybody to come on in. I'm pumping this. And we want you to see this live stream. And if you don't have time to watch the live stream, it's going to be posted. Look at it. Go through with it. It could be up to an hour to 2 hours long, but it's going to be it's going to be very informative. Hey, look, I got to say it off the hook. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all for coming in and watching watching this video portion of the Stephen Cartwright Show. And I'm fixing to bring this video to a close. And of course, y'all, this is the Stephen Cartwright Show, and I'm the host of the Stephen Cartwright Show. And of course, peace out.